For a series that can easily be boiled down into one objective, whack monsters real hard, Monster Hunter Wilds sure has a lot of information to tell you all at once, leading to a user interface that can be kind of confusing for a newcomer. We're here to demystify exactly what all this means, and to give you a few tricks to tweak it to your liking. A quick note before we start. Many weapons have specific UI elements that will pop up when you're using them. For those, make sure to check out our guide on which weapon is best for you, where we'll get into more detail. The green bar is your health gauge, with this stopper on the end being your maximum possible health. If it's not reaching all the way to the end, you probably need to eat, whether that be a full meal in your tent or from your barbecue grill, or just some meat or rations while exploring. The red health after you've been hit is recoverable and will slowly fill if you're not struck again. The gray health after you use a healing item is the max amount you'll be healed over time if the healing isn't interrupted by particular actions. The green part of the health bar will flash different colors when you're afflicted with certain ailments that drain it, such as poison or fire, and the health bar wiggling up and down like a sound wave means you're in imminent danger and you need to consider your current health situation. When there are incoming attacks that have a threat of killing you right away, it will flash orange and the waves will become much larger. Make sure you're ready to dodge these or you're getting a one-way ticket back to your tent. Your stamina bar can also be filled to the max by eating. Stamina governs actions like sprinting, evading, and some weapons attacks or special actions. When you see a little blue arrow to the right of it with your max stamina slowly draining, that means you're too cold and you need to consume either a hot drink or a heat mantle bug. Your weapon sharpness dictates both how much damage you do and in some instances whether or not your attacks will bounce off of a monster's skin. Each color denotes a particular sharpness level. In order of most sharp to least sharp, you have purple, white, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. You won't see white or even blue with most beginner weapons, but as you start crafting better gear, weapons will get sharper. Sharpness applies to blunt weapons like hammers as well. Just think of it as a weapon's condition. You sharpen your weapons by using a whetstone.
I'll ride with you!
Right above your health bar are your status indicators, both positive indicators like attack up and defense up, and negative ones like the various blights monsters can inflict on you. If you hold L1 or the left bumper, it tells you how much more time you have on your current meal bonuses, and gives little radial wheels to show the time left on particular statuses. If you want an explanation on each status symbol and what that status does, check the Status Effects tab under the Basic Controls menu or check out IGN's guide. Right underneath the Sharpness Gauge is your party list. Also shown is the symbol denoting they're a palico or a person and what weapon that person is using, as well as any status effects they currently have. Health bars will also pop up when something affects them. A little lower on the left-hand side of the screen, we have our interactables within a certain range. This includes gathering materials, endemic life, and even environmental traps. Many of these items, without even looking at them, can be targeted by holding the left trigger and pressing up or down on the D-pad. Then press the corresponding button to grab them from afar or trigger them.
Mind if I hop on?
In the bottom left corner, we have the minimap, which, as you guessed, is a small version of your map. When inside the normal map menu, you can apply filters to your minimap to further customize its functionality. To the bottom left of the minimap is the time of day and weather indicator. Both of these affect what monsters and events you'll see out in the world, and can be changed by resting once you get to high rank, if you're not locked in for a particular story sequence. To the bottom right of the minimap is which monsters are in your vicinity and how they relate to your current quest. Look to match the symbols to see if they're your main hunt, a side job, or just another random monster in the area. This can be especially useful if you have two instances of the same monster next to each other. Lock on to each and it will tell you which one is the correct one. When not locked onto a monster, it will be grayed out. In the bottom right corner is your inventory. Holding L1 or the left bumper will expand it, and you can cycle through the horizontal list by pressing the left and right face buttons on your controller. If you're using a weapon that has ammo or coding types, you can also hold L1 and press the top and bottom face buttons to scroll through that vertical list. You can also press the touchpad or whichever button is shown here while holding L1 to fully open the item pouch. Also while holding L1, the right stick can select actions or items on your radio menu. Select which radio menu you want to use by pressing directions on the D-pad. All of these radials are completely customizable from your menu. Spend some time making things easier for yourself so you don't have to fiddle with them mid-fight. If you're playing in online single-player mode, you can even put a pause button here. You'll receive several mantles over the course of your missions, and these indicators to the left of the inventory tell you how much time is left on the one you're currently using, and which ones are on cooldown. If you hold L1, it'll tell you exactly how long you have left before you can use it again. To the left of your mantles is your Slinger Ammo. Whether pulled from your inventory, the environment, or a monster, what's in your slinger will be shot out when you press the right trigger while aiming with the left trigger. A bit further up the page on the right, you'll see your skills. These pop up as they activate and deactivate. For example, skills like Maximum Might and Divine Blessing will show up when the requirements to activate them are met. Right above your skills, in the top right, you have your current quests and/or tasks. If it's a timed mission or hunt, the big clock to the right of it is how much time you have left to complete it. And don't worry too much about optional tasks, these serve more as tutorials and not as a means to get extra rewards. Above the quest is your dynamic controls guide. Since many weapons have combo trees, these weapon controls will adapt to where you are in your attack chain, whether you're in focus mode, jumping, climbing, evading, or anything else that might affect which action a button press will perform. And finally, to the left of the dynamic controls is the current attack or combo you're performing. Some weapons have very specific parameters that give you alternative versions of moves with the same inputs. So for example, looking up here is a good way to confirm you're actually getting the switch axis full release slash, or just the unbridled slash. And that is our full breakdown of the UI in Monster Hunter Wilds. For more on Monster Hunter, make sure to check out our aforementioned video on which weapon is right for you. And for everything else gaming, you're already in the right place. IGN.